One of the companies that works with us is an in-home healthcare provider. And one of the initial things they wanted to run experiments was on their funnel where people actually go to their website and schedule an appointment for an in-home healthcare visit. Part of what they wanted to test was whether they could reduce the amount of friction in the steps associated with making that appointment to drive up the number of people that were actually making those appointments. What they quickly realized was it was very important to figure out upfront what metric to optimize for and make sure it wasn't a shallow metric that they were optimizing for. One of the conversations they initially had was trying to measure the number of appointments scheduled. And trying to optimize that is super easy because it happens in one system. And the easiest thing to do is take the insurance validation step out of that process and move it to a later step in the funnel. What you'll end up doing is driving a bunch more appointments that are created. But what ends up happening is even though the shallow metric you started with has gone up, the total number of care appointments actually delivered, which is what translates to revenue, may sometimes go down because there's kind of the direct consequence where people schedule appointments but then cancel them afterwards when they realize that their insurance doesn't work with this company or it's not the right kind of coverage. But there's also the unintended consequence where people that schedule these appointments that aren't going to convert take away appointment blocks from people that might have otherwise been able to schedule an appointment and actually translate it into more in-home care visits delivered. When you optimize for a shallow metric, often what you end up doing is you end up driving the shallow metric up, so in this case, the number of appointments scheduled, but don't end up driving the business metric you really want to drive, which is more care visits delivered at home and which directly translates into revenue. If you're experimenting on the actual business metric that you care about, you would drive the right behavior because it's easy to shift metrics between different parts of the funnel, but it takes a lot more effort to actually move the business metric. And if you're measuring that, that is what teams will incent and kind of optimize for.